Hi, I'm Diane Flynn. I'm the director of the Beinecke Scholarship Program. With me is Samuel McQuillen, 2018 Beinecke Scholar. Samuel, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Samuel, and for my undergraduate, I went to Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania. I studied economics and international affairs there. And currently, I'm at the University of Oxford studying for a master's in development studies. My current research is based largely in human development. And that has a lot of different, I think, themes and threads to it. So I've been working on multidimensional poverty, community integrated value chains. But really the core theme is human development and human-centric development.
Okay, thank you. And how have you found the transition from going from economics into international development? Has it been relatively smooth, nice tie-ins between the two fields?
It's been somewhat of an adjustment. I did sort of have the international affairs at Lafayette. So I was familiar with engaging with different disciplines, with different voices. But here at Oxford, I am in a very critical department. And so it's not sort of sufficient to talk about these large economic models or these large development models at all in any discipline. And so it takes serious engagement with what economics can tell us, what sociology can tell us, what history and politics can tell us. And so engaging with those types of fields has been a challenge. I've had to kind of think about how I talk, how I engage with things, how I think through things. But at the same time, it's been a really great opportunity.
Okay, thanks, Samuel. Now, can I ask, as an undergraduate and as an economist undergraduate, what are some of the things that you were doing in your studies and in your extracurriculars that made you a strong candidate for the Beinecke Scholarship?
Well, I've always been focusing on applied research. I think it's very easy, especially in economics, to just think about supply and demand, spreadsheets, these big models of development or what have you. But I've always been sort of trying to get out of the ivory tower in that sense. And I think it's a little ironic that it kind of keeps bringing me back in. But I was able to get involved in numerous development projects locally in Lafayette's own Easton, PA, in Appalachia, in other communities across Pennsylvania, even in Madagascar, and really think about how this has a very human impact. And so it's sort of this idea of the civic-minded, I guess, idea of how can I constantly be thinking about how this can sort of improve society, improve human welfare, and what are the challenges of it, really.
Okay, thank you. And we were talking earlier, and I was saying one of the things that was interesting about your Beinecke application that we sometimes see with social scientists is that when you applied, you focused on doing the master's degree rather than the PhD program because it wasn't clear that your trajectory would take you into academia, because you do have this very nice applied focus for some of your research, as well as looking at the theory and kind of bringing new concepts to light in your field. So, you know, in your field especially, you know, potentially having the master's degree going into more of a think tank environment, a government environment, could be a feasible career path for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as well too with the Beinecke program, it's really helpful because you have that options. You have different options. You can go into this think tank, but you know, academia is still open to you. And as you learn more, as you kind of explore your discipline, explore your own interests, those opportunities will become available to you, and you'll sort of understand where you want to go. And I think that the Beinecke Scholarship makes that very easy because of the network that we have, and of course, the director that we have. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Thanks, Samuel. Do you have any hints or tips for students who are interested in applying? Is there anything that you can tell them that would make the process easier or a bit more transparent?
I think that there are sort of two strands of what I think made me very successful in my application. I think first is just commit to it. I know you're a junior, right? You don't know what you're going to want to do in the next 10 years, next 2 years. And so sort of know that flexibility is available to you. But also use the fact that you have to write a personal statement. You have to give some sort of plan for the future. Think of that as an opportunity. Think of what you can imagine, what you can think yourself doing, and know that you'll have the flexibility, that you don't have to have everything planned out. But really let that be an opportunity to take a deep dive into what you can imagine yourself doing. I know I was between all these things when I first applied. Like I was pursuing a finance degree as well, which I still have, and it's been very useful in my studies. But I think that the Beinecke Scholarship is an opportunity to really commit, and not that you have to commit to anything specific, but let it be an opportunity to think through what you could possibly achieve. I think my second general piece of advice is be as authentic as you can. Let your lived experiences guide you. So I know in economics, it's very almost fashionable to be hands-off and think about supply and demand in these very abstract terms. But think about how your story, how your background, how who you are can inform what you want to do, and how it can sort of shape your application, shape what you want to do, and use who you are, I think, as an asset.
Thank you, Samuel. That's a really good, both of those pieces of advice are really good pieces of advice. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and for sharing what you know about the Beinecke Scholarship, your background. Really appreciate it. Very helpful to all the students out there who are interested. Thank you so much.
Thank you.